The Nightly Business Report.
Good evening. Tonight, the Sri Lanka Ports Authority plans for the acquisition of 20 electric prime movers worth 1 billion rupees in order to optimize and modernize Colombo port operations. Prime Minister Dr. Harini Amrasuriya emphasizes the lack of soft skills among Sri Lankan graduate population, which in turn contributes to unemployment rates, stressing on the necessity to better command the English language. On the fourth trading day of the week, the S&P SL20 and the all-share price index both closed lower on the Colombo Stock Exchange. And after Federal Reserve Chair Jerome Powell stated that inflation in goods prices is anticipated to increase during the summer following the Trump tariffs, Wall Street indexes ended flat.
From Studio 24, here's Anuradhi Vikramasinghe.
A very good evening and thank you for joining us. The Sri Lanka Ports Authority will invest 1 billion rupees to procure 20 electric prime movers, aiming to modernize Colombo port operations and support sustainability goals. The move is part of a broader effort to boost efficiency and reduce carbon emissions in port logistics.
The Sri Lanka Ports Authority is set to invest rupees 1 billion to procure 20 electric prime movers, enhancing both efficiency and environmental sustainability at the port of Colombo. The new vehicles will be integrated into interterminal transport operations, replacing part of SLPA's aging diesel-powered fleet. The move aligns with global green logistic trends and reflects a strategic shift in procurement priorities. The acquisition, funded under the 2025-2026 capital budget, follows a revised decision to opt for electric over diesel-powered terminal tractors. Electric prime movers are expected to reduce maintenance costs, eliminate tailpipe emissions, and improve the working environment for port staff. With the 60 of the current 119 prime movers over 20 years old, the upgrade comes at a critical time. The investment is expected to boost port productivity, reduce delays, and strengthen Colombo's position as a leading transshipment hub in the region.
The Clean Sri Lanka Secretariat has launched a program to improve the attitudes, ethics and service standards of three-wheeler drivers in the tourism sector. The initiative aims to train 10,000 drivers across all 9 provinces by the end of the year, with 10 training sessions planned per province. The program, which costs 25 million rupees, will focus on traffic regulations, responsibility and delivering quality transport services to tourists. A specialized software application will also be introduced to assist drivers serving the tourism industry. The initiative encourages better personal hygiene, professionalism and local area knowledge among drivers to enhance customer experience. Senior officials from various government and industry bodies attended the launch, highlighting its significance for improving tourism transport services. Prime Minister Dr. Harini Amrasuriya today highlighted that a significant number of Sri Lankan graduates remain unemployed due to poor soft skills, especially English proficiency. She made these remarks while delivering the keynote address at a Serendipity Knowledge Programme event organised by the ADB and the National Planning Department.
Prime Minister Dr. Harini Amrasuriya has emphasized the need to view education as a personal investment, calling the divide between STEM and STEAM subjects artificial. Speaking at the Serendipity Knowledge Programme event in Colombo, she linked the overproduction of arts and humanities graduates to deep inequalities in Sri Lanka's school system. She noted that most schools are located in disadvantageous areas, which limits access to quality education in science and mathematics. The Prime Minister highlighted the shortage of qualified teachers for A-level science and maths as a key issue. She criticized current efforts to address inequality, saying they focus too heavily on higher education while ignoring systemic problems at the school level. Dr. Amrasuriya also questioned the effectiveness of superficial solutions like soft skills training and English courses in producing innovative graduates. She warned that such measures risk dumbing down university programs rather than truly reforming education.
The Sri Lanka Export Development Board, in partnership with the Sri Lanka Consulate General in the UAE, organised a country pavilion at the Middle East Rubber and Tyre Expo 2025 in Sharjah. 10 Sri Lankan SME companies showcased a variety of locally manufactured rubber products, including solid tyres, retread belts and moulded rubber goods. The expo provided a platform for Sri Lankan manufacturers to connect with international buyers and explore industry trends. Participating companies included 3K Holdings, Autoways, Samson Rubber Compounds and others. A business meeting hosted by Sri Lanka Business Council of the Emirates in Dubai further strengthened local and foreign business ties. The event allows Sri Lankan entrepreneurs to present their businesses, fostering valuable international partnerships. Let's take a short break now. This is the Nightly Business Report. Welcome back to the Nightly Business Report. The Colombo Stock Exchange ended lower on the fourth trading day of the week, with both the All-Share Price Index and S&P SL20 closing in the negative territory today as well. The decline highlights continued market volatility driven by ongoing investor uncertainty. For further insights on this, we speak with Salama Saloom from First Capital Holdings.
Thank you, Anuradhi. The Colombo Stock Exchange experienced yet another session taken over by selling pressure amidst lower investor activity. The All-Share Price Index witnessed continuous downward movement and ended the day at 16,818, which reflects a drop of 253 points. This is the first time in 2 weeks that the index has fallen short of the 17,000 mark. LOLC Holdings, John Keells Holdings, Ceylon Tobacco Company, National Development Bank and Commercial Bank emerged as the top negative contributors to the index. Retail investors were moderately engaged, while high net worth investors took more of a muted approach in today's session. Market turnover stood at 3.3 billion rupees, representing a drop of around 36% over the monthly average of 5.2 billion rupees. The banking sector was the largest contributor to turnover, accounting for 26%, followed by the capital goods and diversified financial sectors, which collectively contributed around 33%. The top three price gainers for the day were TES Agro non-voting and voting, followed by Amana Takaful Life, while the top three price losers were SMB Finance non-voting, Industrial Asphalts and UB Finance. Thank you.
Middle East tensions sparked a 7.55% surge in crude oil prices, raising costs for Sri Lanka's transport, manufacturing and households and threatening the country's economic stability. For further insights on this, we speak with Ranjan Ranatunga from First Capital Holdings.
Thank you, Anuradhi. Rising tensions in the Middle East, especially between Iran and Israel, are creating fresh concerns for Sri Lankan economy, which is still recovering from its recent crisis. This conflict is already sending shockwaves to global markets, and Sri Lanka is feeling the heat. On the immediate effects is the global oil prices. On the first day of the conflict, global oil prices jumped by 10%, and now it has eased slightly, mainly due to weaker global demand and higher inventories. The threat of high oil prices can affect Sri Lankan import bill, given that 28% of Sri Lankan imports are fuel imports, constituting about $4.7 billion in 2024. Worker remittances are another worry. Nearly 80% of Sri Lanka's remittances inflows from the Middle East. If the conflict spreads across the region, job security for Sri Lankan workers abroad are at risk. This could reduce remittances and put strain on our foreign reserves and exchange rate. Exports could also take a hit. Tea, one of Sri Lanka's top exports commodities to the Middle East, may face setbacks. For instance, Iran is the sixth largest tea buyer for Sri Lanka, with over 4 million tons exported in 2024. In short, the crisis could damage Sri Lanka's economic stability, impact our ability to repay debt, and stall the recovery process.
Gold prices declined in Asian trading today as a stronger dollar boosted by the Federal Reserve's hawkish stance weighed on bullion. Spot gold fell 0.5% to $3,353.92 an ounce, while August gold futures dropped 1.1% to $3,369.77 an ounce. However, rising geopolitical tensions from possible U.S. involvement in the Israel-Iran conflict helped limit further losses. Meanwhile, platinum hit a 10-year high during Asian hours, supported by tightening supply and increased demand. President Trump's ambiguous comments on striking Iran added to market uncertainty. Despite safe haven demand, gold was capped by the Fed's decision to hold interest rates steady and delay expected cuts, citing inflation risks linked to U.S. tariffs. Crude oil prices rose today amid growing concerns over potential U.S. involvement in the escalating Israel-Iran conflict, which could threaten supply routes in the oil-rich Middle East. Brent crude futures edged up 0.3% to $76.94 a barrel, while West Texas Intermediate gained 0.5% to $73.83 a barrel. Both benchmarks are on track for double-digit weekly gains driven by geopolitical tensions. It was reported that U.S. officials are preparing for a possible strike on Iran, with this weekend seen as a likely time frame. Meanwhile, Iran and Israel exchanged fresh attacks, marking the 7th consecutive day of the conflict. The developments have sparked fears of broader instability in the region, supporting oil's upward momentum. The Sri Lankan rupee strengthened further against the US dollar today, continuing its upward trend from yesterday. According to the Central Bank of Sri Lanka, both the buying and selling rates of the US dollar have declined. With that, let's take a closer look at how the Sri Lankan rupee is performing today against other major global currencies. A short break now. This is the Nightly Business Report. Welcome back. Ebony Holdings is reshaping Sri Lanka's apparel industry by embedding quality in every step, meeting rising international demands for higher standards and faster delivery.
Ebony Holdings has shifted its focus from post-production inspections to embedding quality at every stage of garment manufacturing. The company now empowers sewing machine operators to identify and fix issues immediately, fostering a culture of shared responsibility. Structured processes like statistical process control and new product integration help predict and prevent problems before production begins. Ebony Holdings invest heavily in training employees across all generations to maintain high standards in quality, safety, and compliance. Recently, the company achieved A-grade ratings in technical and compliance audits from leading global fashion brands. It is also onboarding customer audits from top apparel and activewear companies, signaling its rise as a trusted manufacturing partner. This progress reflects Ebony's commitment to consistency, continuous improvement, and customer-centric excellence.
Orel IT has partnered with Cambodia's ByteDC Solutions, a leading Tier 3 data center and exclusive Huawei cloud distributor. This managed service provider agreement combines ByteDC's local infrastructure with Orel IT's global expertise in Huawei cloud and AI technologies. As Sri Lanka's largest IT solutions provider, Orel IT aims to support Cambodia's digital growth and inclusion. CEO Dr. Upendra Piris emphasized the partnership's role in accelerating digital adoption in Southeast Asia. Cambodia's fintech, logistics, education and government sectors are driving increased demand for reliable cloud services. Together, the companies plan to build a secure and scalable digital ecosystem for Cambodia's future. CIPM Sri Lanka presented its prestigious Lifetime Gold Award at the National HR Conference 2025, kicking off the flagship event held in Sri Jayawardanapuram.
The CIPM Lifetime Gold Award is the highest honor in Sri Lanka's human resource management field, recognizing individuals with long-term contributions to the profession. The award is given annually after a rigorous selection by a panel of HR experts, corporate leaders and academics. This year's recipient, Ken Vijay Kumar, has over 3 decades of distinguished service in both public and private sectors. As CIPM president from 2022 to 2024, he has transformative initiatives including sustainability projects and diversity, equality and inclusion programs. Ken is also a senior lecturer who had mentored over 1,000 HR students since 2007. CIPM President Priyantha Ranasinghe praised Ken as a visionary leader whose impact shaped the HR community. Ken expressed humility, crediting his mentors and colleagues for their support throughout his journey.
The Colombo Stock Exchange has appointed Dimuthu Abeysekara as the new chairman of its board of directors. Abeysekara brings more than 35 years of experience in capital markets. He has been a member of the CSE board for the past 6 years. His extensive expertise is expected to strengthen the exchange's strategic direction. The appointment marks a new chapter in leadership for the CSE. Stakeholders anticipate continued growth and innovation under his chairmanship. Abeysekara is known for his strong commitment to market transparency and investor protection. He aims to enhance the CSE's role in supporting Sri Lanka's economic development. Bank of Ceylon has been named Islamic Retail Bank of the Year Asia at the 2025 Islamic Banking Awards by The Banker, a Financial Times publication. This award recognizes BOC's leadership in providing Sharia-compliant financial services and its significant contribution to Islamic banking in South Asia.
Bank of Ceylon became Sri Lanka's first local conventional bank to offer Islamic banking following legislative changes in 2005. Since then, BOC has expanded its Sharia-compliant products under the BOC and Noor portfolio across its entire branch network. Key offerings include Mudharaba and Atfal savings accounts, Wakala facility, Murabaha financing, and Ijara. Deputy General Manager Ajit Karunaratne praised the bank's recognition as Islamic Retail Bank of the Year, Asia at the Bankers 2025 Awards. BOC has also integrated digital banking services to enhance customer convenience. With over 650 branches worldwide, BOC is the only bank providing Sharia-compliant services in every district of Sri Lanka. The bank also maintains an international presence with branches and subsidiaries in the UK, Maldives, India and Seychelles.
The Commercial Bank of Ceylon has opened its first exclusive women's banking centre named Anagi Women's Banking Centre at its Jaffna branch. The centre is managed by an all-female team and offers specialised amenities such as a location room, children's play area and dedicated pawning and counselling units. This initiative reflects the bank's commitment to diversity, equity, inclusion and empowering women through tailored financial services. The Anagi brand, which was launched in 2012, provides exclusive benefits like higher interest rates and special loan products for women entrepreneurs. The centre aims to address systemic barriers faced by women in accessing financial services by creating a supportive and welcoming environment. The inauguration was attended by senior bank officials, highlighting the strategic importance of this milestone for the bank. Let's take a short commercial break. Global business updates coming on the other side. This is the Nightly Business Report. Welcome back to the Nightly Business Report. Asian stocks fell broadly today as rising geopolitical tensions weighed on investor sentiment following reports that the US may be preparing for a potential military strike on Iran. Japan and Hong Kong led regional losses, with the Nikkei 225 down 0.7% and the broader topics losing 0.6%. China's Shanghai Composite slipped 0.3% while the CSI 300 dipped 0.2%. South Korea's Kospi declined 0.5% and Singapore's Straits Times Index edged down 2.2%. India's Nifty 50 futures were down 0.2% as well, and Indonesia's Jakarta Composite Index saw the sharpest drop, falling over 1%. US stock futures also retreated during Asia trading hours, reflecting global market caution amid the escalating Israel-Iran conflict. The S&P 500 ended nearly flat, giving back earlier gains after Federal Reserve Chair Jerome Powell said inflation in goods prices is expected to go up over the summer as President Donald Trump's tariffs work their way to consumers.
U.S. stocks ended little changed on Wednesday, with the Dow dropping 0.1%, the S&P 500 flat, and the Nasdaq edging up about 0.1%. The U.S. Federal Reserve left interest rates unchanged at the conclusion of its two-day policy meeting, as expected. The Fed's statement signaled borrowing costs were still likely to fall this year, but at a slower pace than previously expected. Stocks were solidly higher before the statement, but paired gains. Stocks on the move Wednesday included Coinbase Global, which rose more than 16% after the U.S. Senate passed a bill to regulate stablecoins, a major step towards legitimizing a once niche but now fast-growing corner of the crypto market. Shares of Visa and MasterCard each fell about 5% on the news.
Well, that wraps up today's nightly business report. We value your opinion as always, so please share your thoughts and feedback with us through email at feedback.ad24english@derana.lk or via WhatsApp at 076-805-7933. We'll see you again tomorrow with the latest updates across the business globe. Till then, I'm Anuradhi Vikramasinghe. Thank you very much for watching. Have a good night.